Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. To all my bed crimers, hi, how are you? I hope you're having a great weekend. To anyone new here, a warm welcome. Let me just ask that after watching and or listening to the video, if you find you enjoyed it or learned something, do me a favor, smash the like button and consider subscribing. Now, let's dig in. Finally, we're hearing more about alleged serialist Rex Heuermann. More people have come forward to talk about their interactions with him. NBC News reported that a neighbor recalled Heuermann's casual threat over a, quote, less than precise parking job. Another stated her family spoke to Rex just one time, even though they've lived in the same neighborhood for many years. And yet another neighbor, a guy named Jimmy Mack, described seeing Rex Heuermann, whose name he didn't know at the time, walking through his Massapequa Park neighborhood. Mack was sitting on his porch having a smoke, and when he sits on his porch, he can't be seen from the sidewalk. And he also can't see who's on the sidewalk. All of a sudden, a person comes walking by and pauses at the end of his driveway. And Mac hears this person say, "Oh, this house again, those girls, and this dude again," end quote. So Mac just keeps smoking. This person just keeps talking for another half a minute. So finally, Mac decides to stand up and sort of pop out to let this person see him and also to see who's talking. Mac described the moment of seeing Rex Heuermann and Heuermann seeing him like this. "We kind of both startled each other, and he was literally at the end of my walkway, where the walkway meets the street, talking to my house," end quote. So Max speaks to Heuermann, and he asks him, "Are you talking to my house, bro?" And Rex replies, "Is this your car?" Mac recalled that his truck was parked halfway into the sidewalk. Well, apparently Rex didn't like that and said, "I told you guys before, now I'm gonna slash the tires on that truck." And Mac describes it as Rex being very calm when he's saying this. And then he threatens he's going to come back in 15 minutes. Well, the truck belonged to the son of Mac's wife. So Mac then runs inside his house to ask the son if he'd had a previous confrontation with this guy, this really tall man. The son said he hadn't, and then moments later, Heuermann was apparently still walking and he was a few houses away, and Mac decides to chase after him, and he actually cuts Heuermann off. But then he was sort of fearful that because Heuermann was so comfortable threatening a neighbor, he thought, well, maybe he's going to come back with a weapon. So he told him, Mac told Heuermann to stay put. And it was about 10 p.m. at night, and the scene was now attracting other people's attention. And Mac tried to snap Heuermann's photo just in case he came back to his house. But a neighbor who'd been watching this whole thing was calling Mac, and this prevented him from taking the photo. Mac then challenged Heuermann to settle the matter right there and right then. So Mac says to Heuermann, quote, "If you want to handle our business, let's get it over with now, or I never see you again on this block." At that point, Mac said he was so heated. But Heuermann then replied, No, we're good." Kind of strange that he would be so threatening, and then when confronted by another man, he backs off very quickly. But Mac was still not feeling comfortable about this, so he tried to follow Heuermann in his car, but by then Heuermann had disappeared. Mac then alerted his neighbors to the confrontation just in case anything would happen. Then came Heuermann's arrest, and when Mac's wife shared a photo of Heuermann, Mac said, "I almost jumped out of my shoes. I couldn't believe it. That's the guy." People who worked with Heuermann are also coming forward. One of them is a luxury real estate salesman named Jeffrey Saint-Aramond, and he said this about Heuermann: he was very assertive, maybe even leaning to the point of being aggressive. Other co-workers have said that Heuermann was so aggressive that they didn't want to be in the same room. Another person who was involved in the project with this Saint-Aramond guy said that she just didn't feel comfortable with Heuermann at all. And she was like, I do not want to be in the office when he comes and picks up the check. Apparently working with Heuermann wasn't very easy. So once again, the portrait that we've been getting of Rex Heuermann is one of a bully, an aggressive person, a menacing person, a not very friendly neighbor, somebody who has no qualms about threatening the neighbor and saying, I'm going to slash your tires. This spells a very angry man. The dude seems to have a problem with everybody. I just keep wondering, what was it like for Asa Ellerup and the two kids living in that small, dilapidated house with him? You know, does he come in after work like all grouchy and nasty, and he just goes downstairs to his locked dungeon room? It's so hard for me to picture this person that we've been hearing all these things about, raising a special needs son and a daughter. In other Heuermann news, it appears that his wife, Asa Ellerup, visited him for the first time in jail since his arrest, and she and Rex spent an hour together. No further details about what they talked about were shared. Oh, to be a fly in whatever space they were sitting in and talking. There's also news that a production crew was spotted at the Heuermann home with all sorts of lights and cameras, and they're saying that Asa is working with a major streaming service. Other family members were seen at the Heuermann home, and a number of people were seen speaking to the various family members and also transporting them to and from another house that was about 2 blocks away. So I'm wondering, is that maybe where Asa's father lives? I'm gonna call this a bed crime bite and end it here. Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories. Now smash that like button.